How do you plan to bring about diversity and inclusion within all aspects of the district? First of all, I like to talk about the staff disparity. When you look at student demographics versus the staff demographics, and I would say that 53% of the students fall in one of these three lanes: Black, Hispanic, or other. When you look at the staff demographics, and we just look at teachers for right now, that 22% of the teachers fall into those same lanes. And when you look at district level, school-based administrators and other instructional staff, they fall in between 11 and 28% of the staff fall in one of those three lanes. So what I contend is we need to do an internal audit on the staff and do is see those employees who want to have some type of professional advancement and some type of succession plan. Look at those staff members and see if we can recruit internally a more diverse workforce. Then I think we need to be very intentional in terms of going out to recruit at colleges and universities within the state and outside of the state, as well as going into other districts and looking at potential employees who would like to come into our district. Not only do we look to do that recruitment, we also need to look at retaining these employees once they come to Escambia County. So we need to make sure that we're providing them with a mentor and the appropriate supports in place so we can retain those high quality employees. Also, from a student standpoint, when I look at that diversity piece, I want to look at it as an opportunity gap, closing that opportunity gap. So when I look at the VPK program, I want to make sure that we have certified teachers teaching our VPK program as well as our pre-K programs, and making sure we have appropriate wraparound services which will be conducive to our students being successful and receiving full day services in VPK. Also, when we're looking at that, the impetus of that is to help ensure that those kids will go into kindergarten ready. Because we do know that the greater percent of students going into kindergarten ready, it will be conducive to those students being able to read when they're in third grade. Student with disabilities, I know that they're exposed to their instructional level instruction, but we need to make sure that we're very intentional and laser focused to ensure that those students are also receiving grade level tier 1 instruction, whatever strategies you have to put in place, whether it's previewing or other strategy, but make sure that those students will receive tier 1 grade level instruction. And with this question also, they talk about inclusion, and I think it's all encompassing when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. With the inclusion piece, we need to make sure that our staff is provided the opportunity to receive professional learning of how to have an inclusive environment. The second question is, give an example of your experiences with a low performing school and your role in increasing student achievement. Please use data in your answer. I was the principal of an inner city school in my previous district, and that school sat right there in the middle of a generational impoverished area, not situationally, but it was generational poverty there, where 97% of the students were on free or reduced lunches, and 94% of the students were minority students. The school was a D school. That following summer of that year, I called in essential personnel in the school, and we looked at the master schedule, and we created a master schedule, and we had professional learning communities within the school day where we looked at data of all the students in every grade level every other week. We created small group instruction, and we didn't look at we looked at the achievement levels, but that wasn't how we grouped our students. We looked at the deficient area, what strand were those students deficient in, and that's how we placed them in their small groups. We created small groups in reading, math, and in science. And we had those bi-weekly data chats in my office. It was principal led. I had all the furniture taken out of my office, and I just had a conference table in my office with data boards all around my office, and all the data on my office had names attached to them because we knew where our students were at all times. We used formative assessments to assess where those students were, and that's what drove our instruction, and our small groups were fluid. So once students grasp a concept in a specific area, they can go to another group. So we did that, and we also collaborated with our local universities and colleges and business partners. We also collaborated with our parents and our community members So they can come in and provide supports in our schools with tutoring and mentoring during school day, after school. And you will hear me say this, every student should have that important adult in their lives. So we wanted to make sure that all of our students had some mentor when they came to the school. That school, our school in that 1 year went from a D to a B. And they maintained that B. And over the time of maintaining the B, the science scores proficiency went from 15% to 61%. The lowest quartile in learning gains in mathematics went from 57% learning gains to 87% of the students showing learning gains. And in reading, lowest quartile, went from 57% of our students showing learning gains to 76% of our students showing learning gains. I feel that we need to be very intentional and laser focused on our intentions on student achievement. And you have to have buy-in from the community, from the business partners, from the families, but most importantly, you have to have buy-in from the faculty and staff who are standing in front of those students delivering instruction. Thank you.